Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Yeah, I don't look as put together as I would normally at least try to look because I just finished an FTP test. Now, I'm not sure what those initials stand for, but it's a test you take on the Peloton to set your level of conditioning, because I'm going to be doing this Peloton program, and they like you to know what your level of conditioning is as they start you out on the program. In other words, if you don't measure where you are, you can't tell how far you've come, assuming the program works. So this FTP test, it's like this 20-minute ride, and you're supposed to at the end be given 100%. I mean, they said the fella, Dennis Morton, the instructor, a good guy it seems, he said if at the end of this ride on an effort of 1 to 10 you are at a 9.5, then you could have given more effort. He says you need to be at a 10 out of 10. We're going to measure your effort, what you can do, what kind of conditioning you're in. Because if you don't know where you are today, if you don't measure and take an assessment, you won't realize how you grow. And as I took that test and started walking afterwards, aside from the fact that I'm trying to figure out what FTP even stands for, right now it feels like it stands for free to pass out. But I was thinking, is there a way we can measure the condition of our walk with God? You know, I'm still in this New Year's trying to get in better shape mode. And I thought, man, how would you go about measuring the condition you're in vis-a-vis your walk with God? I'm going to keep walking, keep air blowing on me. When I was a kid, I saw this expression that Jesus used of a faith. If you have enough faith the size of a mustard seed, he said, you can say to a mountain, get up from here and move over there, and the mountain will move. And I thought, well, maybe that's the way I measure my Christian walk, by what I can move. Now, don't laugh about this, but I actually thought, all right, I can't move a mountain. I don't have that much faith, but hey, maybe I can move a pencil. I'll work my way up to a mountain, thinking that moving things would measure my faith. Well, as I've gotten older, I realized that's not the way we take account of our walk with God. That's not the way we measure our spiritual condition. I think we measure our spiritual condition in a number of different ways. And so here's some questions that I reflect on personally, and I would urge you to reflect on as you measure your spiritual condition. 1, do you try to spend time with God each day? And when you don't, do you miss him? You know, I talk to my wife every day. There's not a day that goes by. I could be in Timbuktu and I would still talk to her every day. And if I didn't, I'd miss her immensely. Do we have a walk with God that's intimate enough that we would miss it if we go a day without spending time with him? That's not just spending time in prayer with him, but it's also spending time listening to him, listening to his word. And so that's one area to check. I think a second area to check is a second conditioning check, if you will, is how are you doing in terms of faith? It's interesting, the closer we walk with God, the greater our faith. The more we stray from God, the weaker our faith becomes. And I've noticed this in my own life, and I suspect you have as well. But the more we tune into God, the more we understand him, the more we rely on him, the greater our faith is. Think of it this way. It's easy to have faith when the sun is out and the wind's behind you. But what about when you're faced with choices and you don't want to do one, even though you think it's probably the right one to do? Is your faith in God strong enough that you know he'll take care of you if you make the right choice? How our faith unfolds in our life, I think that's a key area of measuring the condition that we are in our spiritual walk with God. Now, these aren't the only two measures. I think there are more, but I've run out of time. So we're going to have to look at some more tomorrow, but this becomes your video. Actually, that won't work either because tomorrow's Friday. I'll try and look at some of these next week, but this is your video thought for today.